Toxic employees are just as bad as toxic employers. I think this is going to be a good one. Okay, so this person's company hired a gal back in 2020 who they were basically begging for the job. The first few months were okay, and this person was her manager, and he nearly quit a job of 12 years because of her. So she would constantly refuse to perform work tasks that she was given, lie, fuck around on social media instead of working, etc. I got to the point where I had to take pictures of our conversations because she was lying to our boss about what was being said. She considered being assigned work tasks was bullying. And it was the craziest thing I'd ever experienced. She was 2 years younger than myself, and this person was 35 at the time. She took mental health leave due to this apparent toxic workplace and basically told my employer that they were going to lay her off, etc. It was astonishing. Over a year later, and she still leaves me reviews that just aren't true. I just need to vent because it's not fair that one person's lies about a workplace can affect it in the future. We are a very small company and most of the staff has been here for 8+ years. I've never experienced that sort of entitlement before, and the extent of her lies to get her way, it was crazy. Now, I gotta say, in my experience, this kind of behavior is quite rare, but when you spot it, you need to stamp it out really, really quickly. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, when they first start, start from a position of trust. And if they break that trust, then you need to start taking actions as though they're not trustworthy. And so after the consistent bad behavior and lying about it, that's when I would start absolutely keeping a daily journal, keep records, keep notes. If it's legal to do so where you are, record your conversations with your phone, like literally just put the voice notes on and record the conversations. Most cases you do have to tell the other person that they're being recorded, so you can say that and record the conversations. You're not trying to catch the person out. What you're trying to do is let them know that they are being watched and that their behavior will not go unpunished if they do the wrong thing. They will be scrutinized, they will be checked for, accuracy of what they're saying. And the best way to do that is to show people that they are being monitored constantly. This kind of person needs to know that they're being watched. Ideally, what you want is for them to turn their shitty behavior around and start being a contributing member of the team so that the business can get its outcomes and the team can be successful. But if this person is as bad as they come across in this story, then there's a good chance that they're not going to change anytime soon. So you will need to be the person that, unfortunately, puts in so much more effort to record every interaction, whether it's voice notes, whether it's taking videos, whether you record Teams or whatever video conferencing tool you use, meetings, transcribe them, keeping your own journal of notes about every interaction is really, really useful. If this comes down to something legal, your extensive note-taking is going to be potentially your savior if it ever goes to court. It sucks that someone who's basically a shit human, by the sounds of it, can dictate how much extra work you're going to have to do, but what you need to do in this circumstance is protect yourself. So record as much as you can, take as many notes as you can, and start actively managing this person out of the business. Performance management, managing people's performance is not fun. I've had to do it several times myself, and it's a shit feeling. You don't want to do that to people. But sometimes you have to. And in all of the circumstances where I've had to manage people out of roles, ultimately they've ended up happier and more successful by moving on from the role they were in into their next role and the one after that. When people are acting out in this way, oftentimes it's a sign that they are not a good fit for the role and that they're not a good fit for the environment that they're in. So oftentimes you're doing them a favor by showing them that they're not a good fit for the role and that they're not a good fit for that environment and for that business, and that it's in their best interest to move on. So a lot to unpack from this. I don't know, if anyone else has experienced something like this, or even from the other side, tell me your story about this kind of situation and how it worked for you and what was your experience. I'd love to hear any other toxic workplace or toxic employee stories as it was in this one, and I'd love to go through them and dissect them and get a bit into it about, best ways to approach that situation, what you should be thinking about, what you should be doing, how you can protect yourself, like in this circumstance, and ways to deal with. Inevitably, this comes up. Things like this, well, maybe not this bad, but inevitably bad things in the workplace do come up, and you need to know the best way to approach them to make things the easiest for you and the safest for you.